And let's now speak to the DA Chief Whip, Siviwe Gwarube. Siviwe, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. You just heard what the IFP spokesperson had to say there, that political parties were not consulted. A bit different, I guess, for the Democratic Alliance, considering that you have a premier in Ellen Winde who was part of that particular meeting. But was there consultation with political parties? And does that ever happen where political parties are being consulted and not just the premiers?
Aldrin, and good morning to your viewers. I think, according to the law, that the president is empowered to proclaim an election date. And so, yes, while there was no consultation on the exact date, but I think, to be fair to the IEC, there is a working group, a multi-party working group of IEC representatives within political parties who are at the very least form part of a group that would essentially be taken through the election calendar, some of the key milestones, whether it is registration weekends and the like. So I think for us, the more important thing, Aldrin, is that we've now got a date that is proclaimed. South Africans, those who are not registered, have literally hours, days to make sure that they register online. Ours now is a focus on the next 3 months, and we are glad that finally the president has made this announcement because, of course, we think this is a critical moment in our democracy.
Yeah. What does this mean for the DA and its rescue plan and selling its rescue plan to the electorate?
Look, as you're aware, we had launched our manifesto last weekend, but the launch of the manifesto is only at the beginning of the process, and so for us now, the very big challenge is taking our offer to every single South African, knocking on doors, and essentially selling what it is that we are offering South Africans. Because we are asking South Africans to make a really different choice this time around, where we are saying that it's time that we give other political parties a chance, that it's time that we give opposition parties an opportunity to show them what they can do. And so the next 3 months are going to be critical in that. I think we enjoy at least a very extensive reach in South Africa, where we've got a branch almost in every ward in South Africa. And so that's going to be the big challenge, to make sure that what was launched at the high level now is on every canvasser's pocket, and they reach every single South African, shake hands, and essentially tell South Africans how it is that we intend on rescuing us. And we are doing this, and we are rolling out this election campaign, Aldrin, in really, really tough circumstances for South Africans, where over 30 million people are living in poverty. Unemployment as was announced yesterday, has just increased. And so I think that the ground is fertile to show people that life doesn't have to be this way.
Okay. The proclamation of the election date, the election date hasn't been proclaimed as yet. The president just made the announcement. The statement says the proclamation to declare the date will be issued in due course. Should there be consultation with regards to the proclamation because of the definitiveness of it, that once the date has been proclaimed, unfortunately means that the voters' roll then gets closed?
Look, the difficulty with this is that there's no precedent, Aldrin, where, consultation around the proclamation is required. I think what's important now is for us to communicate to people that literally we've got 2 days. If indeed what we are hearing is true, as the IEC ECO had indicated last night, that it is likely going to be proclaimed on Friday, which means the voters' roll was likely going to be closed on Friday, then people have 2 days literally to make sure that they are registered. And of course we knew this. We knew that that's why we had the 2 registration weekends. That's why we made sure that as many people as possible are registered. And we are imploring South Africans that they really turn out in their numbers. And so I think that it would be introducing an extra layer of bureaucracy to then, have these consultations. As I said, there are already bodies, whether it is the extended, the Presidential Coordination Committee with the premiers, whether it is the IEC's Coordination Committee. I think there are enough touch points for political parties to be able to be onboarded.
Siviwe, you touched a bit earlier on the rescue plan and that the Democratic Alliance has of heading into the elections. Today we expect the budget speech to be delivered by the Minister of Finance. Any expectations from the Democratic Alliance?
Look, Aldrin, again, the Minister of Finance is going to be delivering the budget in a very, very difficult environment because we are of the view that there is very little wiggle room with a 6% budget deficit the reality is that now we are seeing the servicing of debt far outweigh the amount of money that is spent on client services. So not only are South Africans poorer, not only are they without work, but also key services such as healthcare, education, and all of these really important frontline services are now becoming defunded because of a badly managed economy that is now sluggish and is not growing. And so the expectation is that there's going to be deeper austerity measures, but these are going to mean trouble for people because, as I said, it is now diminishing the amount of money that can be spent on frontline services. And so that is our deep concern here. And also the fact that the Minister of Finance has not adhered to our call to extend the basket of VAT-free goods so that to at least provide some kind of cushion for South Africans who are struggling the most.
Thank you so much for your time. Siviwe Gwarube is the Chief Whip of the Democratic Alliance. Really appreciate your time. Of course, the budget speech will be delivered at around 2 o'clock later on today, so do stay tuned to Channel 405.